Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to show you how to possibly replace or repair your ambient temperature or outside temperature sensor. Now, as you can see here, this is my temperature, and right now it says OC, which is out of calibration, which means that there might be a short in there. Maybe the sensor has gone bad. Maybe it's just become disconnected. It is at the front of the vehicle, so there's possibilities here, but we're going to look at the simple ones. So what we're going to do is first we're going to get to the outside air temperature sensor, and we're going to find out if there's anything wrong with it. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in order to get to the outside air temperature sensor, you have to remove the passenger headlamp assembly. It has to come completely out. Now, I've already done mine as far as I got the bolt out that holds this retainer here. You may have the plastic kind that you basically just pull up on it. I've got the metallic kind, so yours might be different. If you have this kind, you need a 10mm socket, and that will remove this bolt here that will allow you to lift up on this retainer, and then you just pull the headlamp assembly out. Alright, so with the headlamp assembly out, and I just have mine sitting up here, no big deal. If you look all the way to your right in here, you see that green plug right there. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I can only go in so far, but anyway, there's a green plug right there. That is actually the harness that leads to the temperature sensor, which is just to the left there. That's where you want to get to. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect that green harness. Okay, so I've disconnected the green harness right there, and on inspection it actually looks just fine. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. There's no breaks or cuts or anything. And I did look at the entire harness all the way down as far as I could see, and it looks fine. So now what we need to do is we need to pull the sensor out, and the sensor sits exactly where the harness was. It can be a little bit tricky to get this thing out because it uses little retainer clips that are on the inside of the hole. Just reach in there, grab a hold of it, and try to squeeze the outside of it at the same time you're pulling it up. Again, this might be a difficult part for some people to do. And unfortunately, you may in fact break some of the tabs that are holding it in place. There's really no other easy way to do this besides getting up and underneath the car. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a hold of it and see if I can get it out. Alright, so I got the sensor out. This is what it looks like, and unfortunately, don't know how well we can see this. Let me go to some light here. Unfortunately, I did in fact take out a couple of the tabs. I don't know how well you can see that. There was no way to get around it. So I did break a couple of the tabs, but I'm really not too worried about it because it should stay in place. But again, this is a risk that you take when you pull something like this out. So now that we have it out, we're going to go ahead and clean it up really good, and then I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. It might have just become disconnected somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up right now. Okay, so I've cleaned it up the best that I think I can, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and then I'm going to test it before I put everything together to make sure it's working. Alright, it's plugged in. There's only one way to plug it in, so there's a little latch or retaining clip on the side there. That's where the harness actually plugs in. So I'm going to go inside and see if it works. Alright, so I do have temperature back again, and it's fairly accurate. So the only thing I can think of is it maybe possibly got dirty. There might have been the fact that the plug may have been disconnected slightly and I didn't notice it. I mean, there's a million reasons why. But I did clean it up and I've reinstalled it, so I should be good to go. But you may need to replace yours. That's something to keep in mind. And if you are in fact adding a 5-button HUD, then this would be a good time or a good video for you to watch to see how you get to that temperature sensor. And there is a hole for it there already, and the harness is there. So just bear that in mind. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back together, and I should be good to go. Alright, so you already know that I broke a couple of the tabs off. If you're able to avoid it, great. Basically just take you can see right down in there, maybe you can see the hole right straight ahead there. So basically just line it up and push it in the hole. I mean, there's really nothing else that's spectacular about it. Just reaching down in there is the hard part. Okay, so I've plugged it back into its slot there. Just do a tug test on it to make sure that it is in fact in place. Mine's in place. I did a tug test. It's not going anywhere. So now we can go ahead and put the headlamp assembly back in. Alright, so the headlamp assembly is back in. Alright, so everything seems to be working just fine. So I was able to repair mine just based on a fluke of some kind. It's fixed. For how long, I don't know. Maybe permanently. But this video should show you how to be able to get to it and replace it if needed. So if you have any questions, let me know. Take care, guys.